Welcome to the VOR Watchman Report, reporting the news as it happens, discussing controversial issues that affect you, others, and the future, dedicated to finding strategies and answers in the world gone mad. And now, here is the VOR Watchman Report. Welcome to the VOR Watchman Report. Isaac Gutierrez coming at you with a brand new show, this brand new newscast on the VOR Radio Network, on the VOR Broadcast Network. We are Watchman journalists, bringing you the news as it happens, breaking news. We're not just going to report the news. We're going to give you solutions to crisis. We're going to give you solutions to the chaos that seems to be surrounding us. We're living in crucial times. We're living in times where it's very important. It's very necessary to know what is happening. It's not just to be informed about what's going on, but to give direction, instruction of what to do. We need to be prepared for what is coming. If you surf the news, if you look on, everything is talking about a World War III. We could be headed into a global war. They're calling this Cold War II. We see the escalation of the war that's taking place in Israel, Hamas, and now Iran is getting involved. We're going to see more nations join in this cause. The problem is that we refuse to see what is before us. God knows the beginning from the end. And if we start talking about God, then people shut out the program. But I'm going to be very blunt with you. I'm going to be very up straight. I'm going to be personal with you. You know, if we really want to know what's happening, God knows the beginning from the end. God brings forth a group of watchmen. They are prophetic people who understand the times that they're living in. They don't have their eyes glued to CNN, MSNBC, and all these different networks because everyone seems to be saying the same thing. This is a very vital program that I believe is going to be necessary. We're going to be bringing you tips and secret insights according to what is coming. These are things that won't be reported on the news because they want us to believe in a reality that's not true. They want us to believe that all is relative and that to believe what they're saying is the truth. We are here to report, instruct on what we can do, a plan of action and strategy to stop the bleeding. There's this deliberate course of running a nation, not just America, but the nations of the world into this collision course, to this chaos. So out of this chaos will come a new order. This is not conspiracy theory. What many have believed is conspiracy theory is actually reality. Prophetic journalism is what we're going to be bringing you. It's a new kind of news that has insights and understanding of the end times. We are living in perilous times when the truth is censored, where narratives in media change quickly to fit a new world order. It's quite difficult to find truth in our news outlets today. Our current news have excelled in reporting facts and information, but why is it that they don't have solutions? Why is the news all about bringing you what is wrong instead of what we can do? It's not meant for them to come to a solution. It's for them to keep running in a circle, to keep giving you this scenario, to keep us hooked on what they're saying, but they're not giving you any solutions. There's no answers to the dilemma. There's no answers to the chaos. There's no answers. That is why this program and other programs like this are very important. We're going to talk today about war propaganda. It's aimed at enemy nations to break down their will to fight, to demoralize enemy morale. It's used as a weapon because of the power that comes with public support. You see it in the reports and images and videos that come on our social media feeds and also through our news outlets that show the terrorists, how people are siding with terrorism, with jihaders, instead of standing with Israel. You see, we don't understand this type of warfare. We haven't seen this type of warfare. The generations before us lived through world wars. They lived through World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Cold Wars. And then we began to get into the nuclear wars and space wars. And now it's become all about technology. The new war that is going to come about is not going to be like the war that we've seen before. It's going to have technology at the forefront. AI, artificial intelligence, cyber wars, biological chemical warfare. There's new mechanisms and there's new things in the works that are creating a move towards a one world system, a one world government, a one world order. We're talking prophetic here. When we talk about the last days, we talk about the end times. This is what's happening in our news. They have painted a picture of Israel as being the bad guy. As sympathy rises from our confused, cancel culture generation that believes everything it sees and hears. We are connected to our cell phones all the time. We are connected to news feeds. We're connected to information, and we have information overload. There's a lot of input, but there's not a lot of output, and which means we receive the information, but we don't know how to decipher. We don't know how to understand the codes. We don't know how, because they speak to us in codes, in terms that they think that we're ignorant. The reality is there's a rebellion, dissatisfaction about what we have been told and taught. Let's talk about propaganda. Propaganda is a dissemination of information, facts, arguments, rumors, half-truths, and lies to influence public opinion. Actually, the simple definition of propaganda is the manipulation of information to influence public opinion. Think about this is how politics, the military, government, when they want you to side with them, when they want you to look at a way where the public opinion, they get the interests of the people to back their agenda, to back their policies, to back their strategies. Propaganda is used in a variety of ways, including the media, advertisement, wars, and politics. And we're going to look at the last two, war and politics, and how propaganda plays a role in how people are swayed by public opinion, how they're swayed by the media. The purpose of news is to create fear and panic. It doesn't edify or bring hope. Most of the news that we hear, it's bad news. News outlets have been taught that bad news sells. Anything that is bad news, anything that inflicts pain, that causes people to walk in panic and fear, this is the purpose of the news outlet and the news media. Its purpose is to create a narrative that is far from biblical truth as possible. With technology, it's easy to manipulate, create deep fake images. Our generations live in this virtual reality bubble where they really think that what they're seeing is true. But many times it's fake. Have you seen this? YouTube has this sensation of Keanu Reeves, where he comes out doing all these unusual things, but it's not Keanu Reeves. It's deep fake effects. Someone to look like Keanu Reeves or a generated avatar, but it's not Keanu Reeves. Think about how easy it is to manipulate images. You know, as a producer, someone who produces media and someone who makes videos and is in the production work, it's easy to edit pieces together to where it looks like this is what's happening. But the reality is most of it is edited. They take a piece in this and they put it together, and that's the story. But the reality is they're not telling you the truth. This is not conspiracy. This is what is really happening. It's become easy for artificial intelligence to edit and put together these visuals. As one who understands media production, the goal of AI or artificial intelligence is to make scenarios and even manipulate media content to make it seem that good is evil and evil is good, where the truth is completely blurred, where the truth is completely buried under so many false stories, and yet the public believes it. It's called propaganda. The same tactic that Hitler used to turn the public against the Jews, and today Islam is doing the same. You notice how Islam or the jihadists or the terrorists use the social media to their advantage, to gain the public's trust, to sway their opinion of how they look at them. We're seeing this shift where people once were allies with Israel are now turning against them and joining the other side. The Islamic terrorists use social media as propaganda to have the public sympathize with them while they are the ones destroying and killing. They are the ones who throw the first punch and blame Israel for it. You know, I've held my peace for far too long, and someone must speak up. We're afraid to confront. We're afraid to expose the lies. That is why I have the green light with this news program. It will not be accepted or considered true journalism. That's okay. What we'll say here will come to pass. I truly believe that we are not just going to talk about the problem. I'm going to give you solutions. I'm going to give you answers. I'm going to give you a strategy, a plan of action that what can be done so that we're not deceived. Jesus said in that time that the greatest thing that would happen, that would cause many people to fall away, would be the first thing. Don't be deceived. There is a great deception net. There is this great cover up so that what is going on, people come to believe that it's true, and they will be in a delusion. This war propaganda spreads hatred and bigotry and incites violence. That's the whole purpose of war propaganda, to spread hatred, bigotry, and violence. In the coming years, things will begin to shift in the Western culture that we have not witnessed in centuries. We are going to enter into an era of war, a time where it is not going to be just, it's actually going to become a reality. It will take many by surprise as what was once a vibrant and power nation begins to weaken, which allows its power to be surrendered into the hands of corrupt leaders that will send waves of attack against its own people. I'm saying this before it takes place so that you know that we must resist and not bow down to tyranny. Resist the tyranny. The freedom fighters will arise and push back against those who want to destroy the free world. What stands in the way of a one world government, a one world economy, a one world religion, a one world government? It is Christianity. It is biblical Christianity. It is those who stand in the way of this taking place. The news media has been bought, and what is being reported is to create a mob that will focus on the persecution on those who don't go along with their agenda. It has already began, and it will continue to gain momentum to silence the voices that oppose their madness. Can I tell you something? Don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to stand up, because God is going to be with those who will be willing to shatter the silence. With all this panic and with all this terror and with all of this war and news and things like that, people have become silent, and we are not standing up for what is true. That is the purpose of the VOR Watchman report. This is news like you never heard before, because we're not just going to share with you the problem. It is time for solutions. What is the greatest thing that we can do? We're going to stand up and speak the truth. We're going to stand up in a time where the truth is mocked, where the truth is stranger than fiction. And that is why the purpose of this program is to not only inform you, but get you ready. Get you ready for what's coming. This is a preparation for what is coming your way. And you're going to know that it was the truth when you see these things take place. Another Holocaust is in preparation, not against Jews, but against Christians and those who oppose the empire, that impose the corruption and perversion that surrounds them. The enemies of the state will be those who refuse to comply. This is why I'm talking about war propaganda, and that war propaganda is going to lead to a civil war. As the war in Israel continues, heated discussion, protests, and persecution will rise as those who support socialism and Islam will refuse to stand with Israel. You see, they're going to try to come to this peace agreement. They're going to follow through with it, but it's not going to last, because the purpose is to wipe them off the face of the earth. That is their goal. And not only Israel, but anybody who is allies with Israel, Anyone who stands with them is the enemy. The pressure will cause many Americans to abandon their support of the Jewish people. Conflict will come from within. There are many enemies within that have turned our beloved nation into a sinking ship. There is an agenda, there is a purpose, there is a plan, because America stands in the way of a new order, stands in the way of a new policy, of a new government, of a new way, of a brave new world, as they call it. This is where we're headed into. This is why there's the rise of artificial intelligence. There's CERN. Even companies and businesses are now converting to artificial intelligence, AI. It's going to take over jobs. It's going to take over resources. It's going to take over businesses. It's going to put the hardworking people out of jobs. And it's going to reprogram people to have to work with technology or they won't have a job. This is crazy. This is not a conspiracy theory. Many say, well, this is your conspiracy. This is just you talking. No, this is about taking down America as a superpower to contend with a nation that is suffering from a humanitarian crisis that will cripple the economy and create a nation that is overturned and overrun by political leaders who are not taking responsibility for their actions. They do something and then they shift the blame. They shift the blame to somebody else and said, look, they did it, when actually they were the ones who committed. They're the ones that committed the problem. They're the ones that created that chaos. They're the ones that did it, but they blame shift. What are they? They break the rules and blame others by rewriting the laws of the government, beginning in the White House, that causes chaos and makes our nation look to the world as a weak, pathetic power. America that once was a superpower looks weak and pathetic. We were once looked as the superpower of the world. People had fear and reverence of America. Now they mock it. Especially starts with our leadership. The weaker the leader is, the more vulnerable we are to attacks. Is this all about getting you mad? No. My purpose in doing this is to let you know what's coming. What is the purpose of the watchman? The watchman sees what's coming. He reports what he sees. He reports what God is saying, and then he brings it to the people so that we can pray, so that we can intercede, so that we can turn and we can stand up and take action. We can't sit down. There's a time to sit, there's a time of peace, and there's a time to take action. It's time that we take action. We can't just sit around and do nothing. Too many have remained silent, and because of our silence, we will pay the consequences. But I feel in my heart that this broadcast is going to bring an awareness to things that we really don't know what is taking place. To open and to unveil the things that are happening behind the scenes, that are happening behind closed curtains that we don't know about. But God is about to uncover and unveil the things that have been hidden, the things that they're trying to hide from us. But God knows what's going on, and he's about to expose it. That is why Watchman journalism is on the rise. You're going to see this not just with the VOR Watchman report, but also with other ministries, other newscasts. They're seeing that it's time to present the people something that gives them solutions. So what is the solution here? Are we to become angry? Are we just going to debate this? No, it's time to come together. It's time to put down our differences, and we need to come together. If we don't, there will be a civil war in America. There will be this crisis that we're about to see. We haven't seen anything yet. This is not to scare you. This is to prepare you. This is to get you ready so that we make the right decisions. We have to make the right decisions. We cannot be swayed by propaganda. We cannot be swayed by public opinion and what people say and what they do to cause us to abandon our morals, to abandon our ethics, to abandon the way we think, the way we were raised and the way we were brought up. America, it's time to turn to God. It's no more simpler than that. Repent, come to God. I'm not going to preach on here. I'm just going to tell you like it is. And my hope is that this message will reach as many people as possible, because in the coming days, we're going to be sharing on the rise of artificial intelligence, the rise of the digital gods. We're going to talk about that it's time for justice to intervene at the border. We're going to speak about the slow fade, the domino effects, the collapse. We're going to talk about all of these different things. And then we're going to connect scripture and the prophetic together. And then we're going to give you a plan of action. Today was just the introduction. Today is just the beginning of this new newscast, prophetic newscast. You can find out more at the VOR.net. That is our network where this new news program is being produced, and it will be available there. Also, we're going to promote this with short videos, but the purpose is to get people to connect and hear the podcasts. People say, well, there's already a lot of this kind of newscasts. No, there's not enough. That's why we need more. And I'm not the only one. There are more that are going to rise up and be a part of this movement of newscasts, this movement of watchmen, of journalism. This is a new tech, new way of hearing the news before it happens. And for you to be prepared and you to know what's coming before it comes. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is the purpose of this program. Let's get ready. Let's not put our heads in the sand anymore, but let us not only know what's coming, but we need to have a strategy, a plan of action. It's time to take action. In 2024, it's time to take action. There's no more sitting on the fence. There's no more just waiting, just hoping that things are going to change. Things are not going to change. We are coming into the last of the last days, and we're about to see an escalation, which just means that the return of Christ is near. It brings us back to the answer that we need. And it's crazy that people don't want to turn. People don't want to hear. They're so involved in their politics and their religion and their government, but they abandon their trust in the one true God. And it's time to turn to Him. This is Isaac with the VOR Watchman Report, reporting the news as it happens. We'll come back again with a brand new episode. Stay tuned at the VOR Network. Bye-bye.